Wagwan Masses, welcome back to One Name Sports. And today we're going to go over all the week one matches in the Premier League and give my predictions on how I think the table is going to play out by the end of the season. I didn't want to do it before the season started. I wanted to see how some of these players looked within the system, some of the tactics, Man related things. But now that the first week is done, I think I could give a better assessment than I would 2 weeks ago. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share WhatsApp, Facebook, wherever you can. Send it all over the place. I do appreciate all the support, and please continue to do so. Hit the subscribe button as well. Doesn't cost you anything to do that. And be sure to check us out on the One Name IG channel. Now, without further ado, let's get right into it. All right, so starting on Friday to kick off the league, we had Ivan Toney and Brentford taking on Arsenal. And man, I'm not going to lie to you, it wasn't that surprising. The result wasn't surprising, but to hear that the captain, Aubameyang, and the vice captain, one of the vice captains, Laka, pulling out or feeling unwell less than 24 hours before the game started, was very surprising. And the result itself, Brentford, being that newly promoted, being the first time since 1947 they're in the Prem, you expect them to come out and try a thing. Then Arsenal kind of took over the game for a little bit. But it's like, man, Brentford realized when, you felt a couple jabs and you're like, oh, okay, I'm on that light. And they put pressure on them for the whole rest of the game. They scored 2, should have got more. Honestly, I think they hit the post one time and missed a one-on-one another time, that player Mbuemo. So just deserves in that result. And Arsenal, they actually looked like the newly promoted side in that fixture. We'll see when we get to the table where I have them this year. But it's going to be a long season for them Monday. Shout out to Smith Rowe, he really did play out him life for the jersey upon him back. All right, starting Saturday morning, the best way to start the day, early rise for the game was Man U versus Leeds. Big derby for start the season. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna see the team sheet. I'm looking. A couple names missing. You expect to get a run out. And I wasn't surprised with Daniel James getting that vote of confidence to be on the right side. Tactically, it worked out, looked very good. We were very clinical in front of the goal. Pogba gives, them one a season world-class games that he gives. As I said, usually one a season, but he has to prove it to me by the next game, the game after that, that he's, for the team, and he'll be working like that every game. Beyond that, Bruno doing Bruno things, Greenwood doing Greenwood things. But we shall see. We had that, very classy presentation of Varane to the home crowd before the game. The energy was just high. Just a great result, great way for start the day, and I love it. I know why James started this last game. We needed that energy, but Sancho should slot in very easily. Greenwood, I feel like with his ability to come back into the midfield, go both sides, use the speed, he looks like a better number 9 than Martial, but there's a lot of competition there, so he'll be over on the right side. But hey, very exciting season for us, and I expect us to be in that area challenging for the title. After that, we had a couple simulcast games. Brighton versus Burnley. Brighton won. Mope again. I think Chris Wood might have a little lag coming off the Olympics. But it's a good game versus two sides that will probably be, lower mid-table or relegation battle. Chelsea took care of business versus Crystal Palace. I do think Palace will get a little bit stronger as they get a little bit healthier and Vieira starts incorporating his kind of style and tactics. Chelsea's not the easiest game to start the season, and I think that's another London derby as well. So, against other sides, they will be better off. Zaha will have more space, and man like Eze should be back in the team. Everton versus Southampton. Didn't expect Richarlison to come back, but Lord, thank God he did, because he run the show for Everton and put in a great performance. Southampton looked like, they were going to capitalize on those mistakes. But, Everton showed class and cleaned them up. Richarlison with one, Calvert-Lewin with another. So, great result for them. Leicester took care of business with Wolves. Wolves look very strong, even though they lost their coach. But, at least they have the Mexican. Raul Jimenez is back. Looked healthy. I saw him challenge a header or two in some replays that I saw. Kind of surprising, though, tactically for Leicester. Didn't know Barnes was back, but now that he's back, he obviously took his place over on the left side. That means Vardy doesn't have to play over there anymore, and he moved to the center. With that, Nacho has moved to the bench, and Daka, didn't get the start. I thought the 4-4-2 they were using near the end of the season was what they were going to start this season with. I was, I had Nacho in my FPL team, and that didn't really too work out. This is a more compact, more of the formation that Brendan Rodgers prefers to use over the last 2 seasons. With all of these mans playing, this is the best version of Leicester in terms of their balance. So, it was just, I expected some kind of change, and it didn't really work out. They won the game, though. So, the next game after along that time was the Watford versus Aston Villa game. Aston Villa, of course, they're making that transition now without Grealish. So it was very interesting to see how the dynamics would work. They look completely outmatched versus Watford. It just wasn't there creatively. Ings was kind of starving. It almost made me lose my FPL matchup as well because he got that last-minute penalty. And the game, because of the scoreline, looked a little closer than it actually was. Watford looked really good, but I don't really think they're going to stay up. But we shall see. Shout out to Ismail Sarr. He looks like he's at a team that doesn't deserve him. Lastly, on Saturday, we had the Liverpool versus Norwich game. Cruise game. You got to oil the gears and start the engine kind of thing. Liverpool and Norwich have a big history, especially from the Suarez days. So, it's just how you start the season. Everybody clicking. Van Dijk didn't get exposed. He has his proper center-back partner, even though Robertson in the play, Shimikas, whatever his name was, got the 90. Trent looked all right, didn't look as exposed as he was last year. Salah doing Salah things. The only man that was quiet was Mane, but that will come, as the season goes on, as the important matches roll in. Very, very good day for the big teams and the teams you expect them to be in the top 4 near the end of the season. Now we're going to look at the Sunday games. All right, so on Sunday starting off, we had Hammers versus Newcastle. And boy, Newcastle started out hot. We were thinking, is this a new version? Are they going to, do an upset or something? Does West Ham really need Lingard that bad? And no, they're fine. Mikel Antonio, as long as he stays healthy with his work rate, with his strength, and they'll be fine. The only problem is they don't have a backup for him, and then Monday Makota Pringles are wet tissue paper. So we shall see, especially because of the multitude of games that we'll play in Europe as well. And I wish them the best, but very strong fight back, 4-2, lots of goals, lots of enjoyment. So that was nice. And then the nightcap was Tottenham versus Man City. Supposed to be a whole bunch of drama coming in. Kane facing the team that he's possibly going to. Grealish debut, It didn't look good. Did not look good for the defending champions. Grealish, he was working, but man like Tanganga, just put in a shift, him shut down the whole left side. Grealish wasn't having it. Sterling wasn't having it. And they didn't have any incision in the middle of the field. Poor Ferran Torres was making all these runs and just the ball couldn't get to him. KDB coming on, he looked a little rusty. Couldn't get up to speed in the game. But it's Man City, Sooner or later they start hitting that stride and they ticky-tacky you to death. I am a little worried for them though if they don't get Kane. I feel like there's gonna be a fitment problem when everybody's healthy, but again, they'll figure it out. They'll be near the top and challenging and doing what they're supposed to do. Spurs, on the other hand, they look great with Son alone up top, with Son up top as a replacement for Kane. Everybody was working really hard. Still love Højbjerg. Højbjerg to me is what we hoped Fred and McTominay are. They just like half of the deal. The man work. Great result for them. A lot of emotion in it, but I don't know if it's sustainable over the season, especially because they have those Conference League games. They don't have a backup striker, so if Son goes down, what are they gonna do? Play Bergwijn or Lucas Moura up top? I don't know, but they look good. Shout out to Nuno for getting a good start. But yeah, not a lot of the results were not too shocking. I guess if Spurs did drop 3 love, then that'd be a whole different thing. But now, based on these results, I'm gonna get into how I think the table is gonna play out this season. Starting with the bottom 5. All right, so here's my bottom 5. I just think a lot of it comes down to money. So Norwich not really spending anything, going right back down again. But it's up and down with them one day. Watford again. Same kind of situation. I expect 2 of them to go down, and then on top of them, I have Southampton. Southampton just didn't look really too good at losing. Danny Ings was really that X factor to them because they were getting so many goals from me, even though he wasn't playing that much. I just don't think Shea Adams by himself is strong enough to lead the line. Time will tell with that, but I see them being in that relegation fight area. It won't be more than 8-9 points separating all these teams. Brentford, I do see them making a couple surprises, getting some points that they need. It wouldn't surprise me if they get relegated, but they'll surprise a lot of teams, especially if they do that high press that they were doing versus Arsenal. So they'll be able to get some points, and I do see them being 16th, 17th. And then last team that I have in the mix is Burnley. Sean Dyche, he finds a way to get the best out of his team. Doesn't really buy many people. Kind of has the same 11 now for the last 3 years or so. Nick Pope is always going to be a problem. Tarkovsky is always going to be a problem. But I just feel all the other teams around Burnley have progressed so much more than they have. So they'll be in the mix as well. Again, any of these teams, I wouldn't surprise me if they get relegated. But they always find a way to kind of stay up top. So that's how I have it right now. All right, I'm going to skip the whole midfield, and I'm just going to do the best of the rest below the top 4. And I have Everton, Arsenal, Tottenham, Leicester. Again, this whole field right here is going to be fairly tight. I can see that I feel like there's going to be a gap between 4th this year and 5th, maybe like a 7-8 point gap. But everything from 5th down to maybe 9th is going to be separate. Like every week, like last year, every week you're going to see with a win or a loss, the teams are going to be shifting around. Leicester are a really good team, but they always have that choking thing in them. Arsenal, I don't know if they're good enough. Arsenal can be anywhere from 6th, 7th to 13th this year, but I feel like there's still enough quality in the team and enough pride within the team to be up in the mix. They'll probably make Europa League next year. Tottenham, either way, with Son up top or with Kane, I just see them around the Europa League, Europa Conference League spaces. If they lose Kane, it's going to be even worse. You just, the goals and assists, man, won both the trophies last year. That's not easy to replace, even with Son up top. So that's where I really have them. It's just going to be a lot of burnout too from playing all these ABC teams from Slovenia and all them places. So that's how I have 5 through 8. And then moving on, I'd say my number 4 would be Liverpool. Again, it's not really on Liverpool per se. There's just not enough new blood within the team, especially on the front line for me. Jota is going to do a job this year. I think, again, I don't know. The course might be run for Bobby, but at the same time, when Bobby plays, Mane and Salah get to shine in their best way. But again, just the other 3 teams just have improved enough where I just see them being just a little bit more off the rest. But all of these teams, I just see them being really close. I can't see a team really running away with it this year. Now my third spot is depending on if City get Kane or not. If City get Kane, then I see them winning. If they don't get Kane, then I see them third. So third, or they're gonna win the whole thing. Now moving to now if they get Kane, let's assume they get Kane because money talks. Then I have Man U third. I know, sounds bad. Chelsea second, and City winning. So that's going to be the only shift. City, I just feel like they have the strongest, deepest team in the Prem. They have 2-3 players for each position. Man like Chilwell, you just bought him last year for 50 mil, won the Champions League with him, and truthfully, he's not your best left back. It's an insane situation. You have Chaloa, Zuma you trying to get rid of, Rudiger, Thiago Silva, Christensen, and that's only naming that. You have Kante, Kovacic. The team just deep. Like they look like they're gonna be the closest challengers, and the front line is just pure madness. Ziyech, Havertz, Werner, Pulisic, Lukaku now. Like I just feel like they're the deepest team from front to back. They even have 2 keepers, $100 million worth of 2 keepers. It's insane. Mind you, I feel like we have the depth. Number 9 position is a worry for me, but the real thing is tactically, I just don't trust in Ole to deliver. We've gone now 4 semifinals, 5 semifinals, 1 final, and we haven't won anything. I don't think the Prem is really in his cards this year. Do I think we can win something else? Definitely. Maybe a FA Cup or something like that. But the Prem just might be a stretch compared to the other teams. But let me know what you think. Drop your thoughts of how you think the Prem is going to turn out below. We'll revisit this at the end of the season. And you know what? Question of the week is going to be, where do you think Arsenal is going to end up? Drop that in the comment section below. I know I have Arsenal fans and they think it's just banter things. But hey, it's a good topic. All for nothing, all or nothing. Producers are going to be benefiting, so why can't I, Again, thanks for all your support. Please like, subscribe, and share. Make sure you check out the One Aim IG for those quick reactions to the games and some of the happenings in the football world. Thanks again. Peace.